What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Young Guns podcast for the third time today. Another trade went through before at the same time as the Ben Sherrod deals, but we kind of had to make the thumbnail and everything for the video. We got to prepare everything. So Callie Yarn
Jarnkrok
Yarn Croc.
goes to the yeah. Sorry, he's not really good with name pronunciations, but Calle
Yeah.
Jarnkrok, former Nashville Predator, now Seattle Kraken, and now actually Calgary Flame. He moves on from Seattle to Calgary. I like this move for the Flames. Again, another top nine forward going to Calgary and bolstering their offensive core again. And they already added Tyler Toffoli. They traded away their first round pick um, early on this month to acquire, or early on in the last couple of weeks when they added Tyler Toffoli for essentially a prospect and a couple of other pieces as well. And now they go and get Calle Jarnkrok. What's interesting is, and Chris, I think, is going to tell you, Calgary don't have a lot of picks in this year's draft
No.
after today.
So at the moment, Cap Friendly didn't even update it yet, but they have no first round pick. They got no second round pick. They have no third round pick. They have no fourth, and they have no sixth. So they're only drafting in the fifth round and in the seventh round. So I don't know
It,
if their scouts are miracle workers, but they better find some good gems because they could write this off as a write off year.
and I think it goes back to that. I think that's a message to Calgary and to their fans that they're going all in this year. They're all in. They're going for the cup. They've got the team to do it. They've got the coach to do it, and now they've added Calle Jarnkrok. And again, look at Seattle this year. They haven't really been fantastic, but this he's been decent. I mean, look, minus 15 obviously isn't the greatest, but when you're on a bad team, plus minus doesn't really matter. But the interesting thing about him, so last year he had 28 points in 49 games. This year in 49 games, he's got 26. So it's about the same production as you saw from him last year with Nashville, only this year with Seattle. It's a great ad for Calgary, it really is. And for Seattle, I mean, look, they get themselves 3 draft picks, and it's 3 decent draft picks as well. Well, one of them is a 7th, so it's not that big, and it's in 2024. But the second and the third is really big, especially for what you can get for a guy like Calle Jarnkrok. The second round pick is actually Florida's second round pick that they acquired in a deal way back. So that's an interesting move there. It actually goes to Seattle and a third round pick in 2023. And we all know how stacked the 2022 and 2023 drafts are. So Seattle stockpiling on picks as well, and they get a decent asset. They trade away a decent asset as well. My question to you is this the end for Calgary? Are they done making moves, or do you think they're still going to try to make one more move to bolster their team?
Listen, when I got the alert, Calgary Flames and Seattle Kraken making a deal like Mark Giordano, and then I was like, I guess not. So I don't know if they're trying to bring back Mark Giordano. I don't know because they have no picks, so I don't know what the hell they're gonna give to try to get him.
Yeah,
But I think it's pretty much done. If you're not going to get Mark Giordano, I don't really. Maybe if they want to, add Brett Kulak, because I know he's pretty cheap, and they still have picks for like
next year.
next year. Uh,
But yeah. So essentially, what's going to end up happening is they're going to have picks and stuff, and it's obviously going to be an interesting situation for the Calgary Flames. Obviously, they don't have a lot of assets, like you mentioned. They don't even have a lot of picks. I think Calgary's done personally. They've added 2 forwards. Their defense is already pretty stable, obviously with Jacob Markstrom and Nets and how well he's played this season. I don't think they need to really bolster that. But they add 2 offensive pieces, and it's 2 guys that are going to be really, really good. Calle Jarnkrok's a depth guy. I think he's going to play on the third line. Could play on the third and the fourth line. Obviously, a guy that can maybe play on the penalty kill as well, which is important for them. And obviously, they added Tyler Toffoli, and Toffoli's been a big impact to that team so far. He's made a really big difference for them. And they've already played some really good hockey. So I think Calle Jarnkrok just adds to that. And I think Calgary, it's a message to the league to say, okay, watch out for Calgary because this team's going to do some damage. They're trying to do some damage. From Seattle's perspective, I mean, look, there was a lot of criticism going into this season about their expansion draft and how well they did and the players that they got and whatever. And I think, look, it goes to show you that a guy like Calle Jarnkrok was actually a pretty good pickup in terms of their expansion draft. Yes, it sucks for Seattle because they lose a roster player, but um, it's important for them to get more draft picks or whatever. And also, one thing that I want to mention before we go to Scorpion's comment is Calgary actually gets 50% retained salary on Calle Jarnkrok, so that means it's $1 million instead of $2 million. So that's important for Calgary. They save some cap there as well, and Seattle obviously takes some cap back for themselves, which is not bad in that deal.
Before we answer Scorpion's question. Actually, at the beginning of the season, I saw what Seattle Kraken drafted during the expansion draft, and I was like, their defense is solid on paper. They have a good defense. I mean, they had Hayden Fleury.
Yeah,
They had Giordano.
yeah.
You got oh man, Alexiak. These are some big names. Or
Adam
Vince
Larson too.
Vince Dunn, Adam Larson. So and they have Grubauer and Nets. I was like, their back end is good. That if the front doesn't score as much, the defense could compensate for it. But
Yeah.
and I predicted that it would probably get a wild card spot. But I mean, I don't know what happened to this team. And to answer Scorpion's question, here we're gonna put it up on the screen. Do you think Calgary will go far in the playoffs? Absolutely. I said that they were gonna win the Stanley Cup. That's who I have winning this year.
I look.
That
I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat as Chris here. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if they win the cup, but they're a team that's gonna go they're gonna go far, and you can tell that they're going for it. Like Daryl Sutter's one of the winningest coaches in the NHL. He's fantastic in terms of the style that he plays and how important he is to a team like that. And obviously, you saw what he did with Calgary a couple of years back. So I think it's a similar story with Calgary, and they're the best team in Canada right now, and it's hands down. It's not even close. And making a move like this, it goes to show you that there is optimism if you're a Calgary Flames fan, especially because yes, you've had a fantastic season, and Calgary's been fantastic uh, from top to bottom, and this just continues. It goes to Brad Treliving is rewarding the fans as well by saying, hey, look, we're going to make moves. We're going to improve this roster even more than it already is. And we're going to give this team a chance to go for it and hopefully win the Stanley Cup, which would be cool because it would be the first time since 1993 that a Canadian team would win the Stanley Cup. So it's definitely something to look at for Calgary. And they're a fun team to watch. I love watching Calgary. I know some people don't really like them because they're a boring team. But hey, man, you got to do what you got to do to win games. And if that's their way, they're going to win games, then you do it.
And honestly, like this team has been they've been trying to win so desperately with the core that they've had for the longest time. And I really do think that this is, I don't want to say like the last chance because they kind of have pieces that they could they could definitely make a run at the playoffs next season for sure. That's a guarantee. But does
Yeah.
Johnny Gaudreau want to stay after potentially like if if it went sour this season? I mean, who knows? And there was rumors that Matthew Tkachuk might move in free agency too. So there's a lot of you know players that we don't know what's going to happen to them until after the season ends. But I'm pretty sure with the team that they have right now, they should be sticking around. And honestly, I have them winning the Stanley Cup in my bracket challenge. When there's a video, we're going to be making a video on bracket challenges soon. I got Calgary Flames as Stanley Cup champs.
And I think, look, I kind of agree with you too. I think this is a message to Johnny Gaudreau personally as well to say, look, bro, like we're adding pieces to make this team better. We want to go for a Stanley Cup, but we want you to be a part of that as well. And I think this is a message to him to kind of say, listen, we want you to stay here, and we're doing this, and we're making these efforts to win you a Stanley Cup and to show you that we're competitive. Because it's one thing to be competitive in the regular season, but it's another to do it in the playoffs. And I think that that's what Calgary's message is to try to send to their fans and to their players to say, listen, we're trying to go for this. Like, this is important to us. So I like this move. Quick question before we end off here. Who do you think wins the trade? Obviously, I think there's only one team that really does it. But I think this one, I'm going to say Seattle. And the reason I'm going to say Seattle is because they get themselves 3 draft picks. And I know that Calle Jarnkrok is a decent player, but he's not this elite talent player. He's a good guy. He's a depth guy. He's a guy that I think can help Calgary in many different ways. But for Seattle, we talk about them acquiring draft picks, and they've done exactly that. Obviously, it's not a first rounder, but it's close to it. And so I think it's a really good move for Seattle. I think that they win this deal in terms of just getting 3 picks for essentially a player.
I'm gonna go with Seattle as well because you're getting 3 draft picks, and you never know. 3 draft picks could turn into 3 elite players. It could turn into 3 players that never see the ice, and it could turn into maybe one guy being decent and 2 guys. You never know with draft picks. It could go
That's
either
it.
way. So you could find gems in any round. Look at Pavel Datsuk.
And
So
actually, fun fact before we get off. So actually, Elias Lindholm, Calle Jarnkrok, and Jacob Markstrom are all cousins. So
really,
that's actually a really
that's
interesting
pretty cool.
fact that I just saw before. So Calgary reuniting family members as well, which is pretty cool
Look at
uh,
that
to see that. So you got the Pitlick brothers, you got the Pitlick cousins in Montreal, and now you've got the cousins in
in Calgary.
Calgary too. So family ties. Who knows? Maybe family ties win a
Hey,
Stanley Cup.
listen, maybe the chemistry is gonna maybe there's chemistry and they're gonna make some crazy plays together. Who knows? So
That's
that's it
it.
for that's it for tonight's video, guys. Hopefully, who
No,
knows, there's no more trades for tonight because that
we're
would be
tired.
yeah. So please leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe and we'll see you in the next one.
Ciao, guys.